Have you ever felt a heavy or dragging sensation down in your pelvic area? Maybe you're experiencing some pressure or heaviness and you're wondering, what's happening to me? This is not normal. Well, you're not alone. If you're getting symptoms of bladder incontinence or lower back pain, pelvic pain, or even lower abdominal discomfort, you've seen a bulge down there or feel that something is different, and no one ever told you about pelvic organ prolapse, then you're gonna wanna watch this video. Pelvic organ prolapse is more common in women over 40 and more common than your doctor may even warn you about. Now, oftentimes, if this is mentioned by your doctor, they might recommend right away surgery, but I want you to know that is not the first thing that you should go after. Oftentimes, surgery is avoided if you're doing the right things to help yourself and know the signs and symptoms, so therefore you don't ignore them and you can make the best decision for your health. My name is Dr. Dawn Andalone. I'm a pelvic floor specialist and physical therapist working with thousands of women with pelvic organ prolapse and pelvic floor conditions. And it's important to know the signs and symptoms of pelvic organ prolapse so that way you can truly be your own advocate and help yourself. So if you've ever wondered what's going on with my body down there, well, in this video, you're gonna get answers that could change everything. So here are 5 signs you shouldn't ignore. Number 1 is pressure or heaviness down there. So what is actually happening? Well, the pelvic organs, your bladder, your uterus, your rectum, in this pelvic cavity, this being your pelvic floor muscles in red, those organs are dropping downward slightly, putting pressure on that vaginal wall, and therefore you're feeling a bulge or pressure down in that area. It's not actually the organs that you're feeling, it's the pressure against the vaginal wall. And this is going to cause some of those symptoms of discomfort, especially if you've been standing for a long period of time or you were exercising or doing something strenuous. So what you can do, avoid standing too long, make sure that you're taking breaks, and you're also consulting with a pelvic floor physical therapist. You can go directly to a pelvic floor physical therapist in your area, or you can actually book a call with me so I can guide you in the direction and find the right solution for you. Okay, here's what you can do for this. You can actually take breaks and not stand for too long. If you're eliminating a lot of heavy lifting or standing for long periods of time, this will start helping your symptoms. But that is not the long-term solution. You want to find out how you can get back to being more active. So you want to consult with the pelvic floor physical therapist, someone that is going to be able to assess you and guide you in the right direction. I will also put a link below for a consult call that I do with women all over the place so I can help guide them in the right direction if they're not sure what to do for their prolapse. You can also work on targeted strengthening and relaxing exercises for the pelvic floor specifically. And that's why it's so important to be guided by a professional that knows what types of exercises are going to be best for you, but working on core exercises, hip exercises, and specific pelvic floor exercises, not just doing Kegel exercises, but the right ones that are going to be able to help support that pelvic area and your pelvic organs, so it takes pressure off of feeling like your organs are dropping down. So sign number 2, you're feeling a bulging or like something's falling out. So why does this happen? Well, it could be your bladder, called a cystocele. If it is your bladder, it's putting that pressure against that vaginal wall. It could be your rectum, a rectocele, or even your uterus, putting that extra pressure toward the vaginal wall, and therefore you're really feeling like something is falling out, or you're feeling that extra bulge, or even seeing it as well through the rectal area, through the vaginal area. So things that you can do right away: avoid straining on the toilet, making sure that you're staying ahead of not being constipated. Constipation can definitely create further issues, and sometimes long-term constipation over time can cause a prolapse. So you want to pay attention to nutrition and what's in your diet to prevent the constipation. And also too, that you're using something called a squatty potty. I'll put a link down below that can elevate your legs, getting you into a deeper squat position and putting those muscles in a better, your pelvis in a better optimal position for you not to be straining and bearing down. Also, avoiding improper lifting techniques. This is so important. You don't want to hold your breath when you are lifting something heavy. And also keep whatever you're lifting close to your body, not lifting far away from you, or lifting and twisting can not only cause a back injury, but that excess straining, you're going to be putting extra pressure down on your pelvic floor area, and therefore this can irritate a prolapse or cause your symptoms to get worse. So can't stress enough, trying supportive pelvic floor exercises, breathing exercises, and making sure that you're not only stretching the hips, but you're working on contracting and supporting that area through your pelvic floor and your lower belly muscles through your core to be able to help support those organs. So number 3 is urinary leaks. You're having some incontinence or leaky bladder. You may have frequent trips to the bathroom. You may have leaks with coughing or sneezing, and you just can't hold your urine. You're having embarrassing leaks, and sometimes you can't get to the bathroom on time. So why does this happen? Well, with the bladder shifting, you're gonna have pressure against your vaginal wall, and then also the bladder doesn't have the same amount of support. So you may be having urinary retention, or you may be having more leaks and incontinence. So practicing bladder-friendly habits, things that you can do right off the bat. You don't want to hold it for too long. You want a normal amount of time to go to the bathroom is every 2 to 3 hours. If you're going more often than that, then most likely your muscles aren't doing the right thing to really support it, or you're doing something to really cause your bladder to connect to your brain to say, I gotta go, I gotta go. And so some lifestyle changes and learning some healthy bladder habits, we want to be able to lengthen that time, but not too long and holding it too long either. So what to do when this happens? You can practice bladder-friendly habits. So making sure that you are prepared. You're not having a lot of extra bladder stimulants that are going to make you feel like you have to go to the bathroom over and over again, like having a lot of caffeine with coffee or tea. Even decaf tea can irritate your bladder. Having carbonated beverages like mineral water or soda, or citrus foods, and even artificial sweeteners. These all can irritate your bladder, and so therefore it's gonna cause your brain to say, I gotta go, a lot more often. So you don't want to rush urination. You want to actually sit all the way down on the toilet, allow your muscles to relax, so therefore you can fully empty your bladder. Sometimes you'll feel like you can't fully empty, or you have to kind of shift forward before the rest of the stream of the urine comes out. So you want to make sure, just take a few deep breaths, get your muscles to fully relax and sit all the way down on the toilet, and therefore you're going to be able to void completely. This also is very helpful to be seen by a pelvic floor physical therapist, so they can tell you what actually is going on with those muscles. Are you holding too much tension there, or can you actually relax properly, so therefore your bladder can be supported better with the right amount of strength? And then number 4, you're getting pain or discomfort with being intimate with your partner. Also, this is not normal. You should be able to enjoy it. So why does this happen? Well, changes in the vaginal structure and also muscle tightness or restriction, this can also cause that irritation with penetration. And so therefore the muscles are tense and they're going to cause pain when pressure is against there. So learning how to relax those muscles the best way, being able to work on some deep breathing exercises. Over on this channel, I have some instruction about breathing exercises, diaphragmatic breathing, even doing an exercise with the legs up the wall and fully relaxing, and therefore your hip muscles and your lower back muscles and all through your pelvis can really release and reach that rested state. Now, if you see a pelvic floor physical therapist, they're going to work on some manual techniques to release those muscles, which can help you get a result a lot faster, and even recommend something called a pelvic wand that you can do some internal stretching and release with those muscles too, very gently, in order to get them to their normal rested state. This is more common in women from perimenopause to menopause as well because of the changes in our hormones, and therefore you can get more vaginal dryness and irritation of the vaginal muscles in that area and more weakness. You can also use some vaginal lubrication to that area, something very gentle that will also help with the vaginal dryness and stop the irritation of the tissue around there as well. And then sign number 5 is constipation or difficulty having a bowel movement. So it feels like a constant need to push more and strain when you go to the bathroom. So why does this happen? Well, the rectum can shift positions, and therefore if you're getting that extra little pressure or heaviness or uncomfortable feeling, sometimes when you're even sitting for prolonged periods of time, so with the rectum shifting a little bit out of place, it's causing you to have to strain a little bit harder and actually release that stool. So what you can do right away is focus on your diet, nutrition, staying hydrated with things that are going to help your stool pass a little bit easier, fiber-rich foods, things that you can control with your diet and your hydration, but then also using a stool like a squatty potty that I mentioned before that is going to be able to have your pelvis in a more open position and allow an easier passing of the stool, so you're not bearing down and extra pressure to release the stool. The bearing down and extra pressure will irritate that rectocele as well. So overall, I just want to summarize, don't panic. Even if you're having signs of a prolapse, there are a lot of things that you can learn to do on your own to help ease your symptoms and even improve them if you're seeing guidance of an expert that can take you through the right types of exercises, lifestyle changes to do, and not just Kegel exercises, but I'm talking about whole area of restorative core and pelvic floor type exercises too. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you're having any signs of a prolapse and you have consulted already with a doctor about surgery, just know that whatever you can do in a more natural way and working on the muscles for support, even if you decide to have surgery, it's important to work on those before and after surgery, so therefore it can continue to be successful for you and you can be able to have a long, active life and not have this be a problem. You don't have to suffer in silence, and it's important to take action early. So thank you so much for watching this video. I have other videos on pelvic organ prolapse on this channel that I hope you go ahead and watch, and subscribe if you haven't already. I love to release new videos every week to help guide you in the right direction for your women's health questions. Thanks so much for watching.